Hey, hi, I'm Peggy and Salz at Mobile Growth Summit, and we are talking to our speakers and some special people. And I'm really excited now because we have Ryan Angerami. He is head of performance lead rather, at Reddit. And the reason, Ryan, I want to have you here, and I sought you out specifically, is because we have a new phase, I would say, in Reddit. So what is Reddit now as opposed to what Reddit was before?
I think Reddit is still the same community and same user base of passionate individuals we've always had. I think we've just brought the site and a lot of like our technology behind sort of serving our clients' needs up to the 21st century, which was previously not there.
Kept the guy though, right? Kept
Snoo.
the mascot. Got Snoo.
Yeah.
Snoo. Okay, so we got Snoo, and we've got a new focus. I mean, it's been a busy time. You have not only just done the redesign of your website, but you've done a lot more in the plumbing, I would say, to make all this possible. So what have you actually, if you could say this has been the accomplishment, what would it be?
Oof. I would say all the credit goes to our ads engineering and product teams. Like they are the huge accomplishment makers. All of 2018 was sort of spent building all of these foundational things we've needed to have. So we didn't even have our own ads platform before March last year. We didn't have mobile ads on our in-app experience until last year, which sounds like a very 2012 thing to say. We launched native video. We just about a week ago launched CPC. We just announced app install. So there's a lot of things that they have been building and rolling out, which we're super stoked for.
I mean, it's interesting because I talk to a lot of growth marketers. I do a lot of work in the industry, books, writing. And so I'm doing this one report and I'm saying, okay, Untapped Opportunity 2019, what is it? And I ask people and then they tell me and they say, well, you have to get your head around AI and you got to do more with Facebook, and that's fine. But what also came through many times over, have to get your head around Reddit. So a lot of people are saying, I have to figure out this platform. I can get users. I can engage users. Maybe it's not even acquisition, just engagement. So if you could talk to them, since they're already pumped about Reddit from 2019, what should they be doing to get ready for this? And is it a different mindset? Because it's certainly a different audience.
Yeah, absolutely a different mindset. I think that's been one of the things that we've tried to convey to clients is that what necessarily works best on Facebook and Google and other places that you're running should be definitely tweaked for Reddit. I think Reddit does really well with real, organic, honest conversations. And the clients that we've seen do really well are where they're inserting themselves into conversations or having really strong prompts to the community that are relevant to them. Instead of just necessarily being like a billboard on the side of the highway for them.
So if you could give some ideas, I mean, tweaks, that sounds intriguing. I mean, what is it? Is it being a useful brand? Is it being helpful? Is this something that works for certain app categories and not others? I mean, that tweaking, I'd like to explore that. Yeah,
so it's everything from how you're engaging with the community. So when you're entering into answering comments on your post, making sure that you have a very actual, real, unpolished, raw responses to them, as if you would talk to a friend, is what the community appreciates, not necessarily you hawking your widget to them. I'd say with that too, knowing the platform that you're on, so hashtags don't work on Reddit. If you use them, you're going to kind of look a little tone deaf. So using things like Reddit vernacular, so TIL is today I learned, YSK is you should know, and there's all these other little abbreviations on the site that people appreciate you speaking their language for.
So I mean, it's relatively new. As you said, you built the platform as of March. Do you have some examples that maybe not with the name necessarily, but what can I expect when I'm using Reddit to engage my users? I mean, is it engagement or is it acquisition as a platform?
So yes to the two questions.
I can inquire because it seems like you would build. But you can just go in there and say, I'm going to do my straight acquisition and think of top of funnel, and it'll work with Reddit.
So the last 4 years were really spent on more of the building a rapport with your user base. If you're an advertiser coming onto the platform, that's really what the last 3.5, 4 years have been Reddit focused on. And 2018 and 19 now is all been, okay, now how can we be a sustainable user acquisition play for folks? Instead of just we have this really, great community that you can tap into, now how can they actually be efficiently backing into your KPIs?
What they love, and I know Thomas Petit say hi to him there. He's one of the people who are also very bullish about Reddit. But there's always like a little growth hacker tweak, and this isn't that way. This isn't that way where you can say, well, you got to do this certain keyword and go for this volume, or you can, reverse engineer Apple search ads. This is not that kind of thing. So, is there any sort of growth hack you could share?
Yeah, I'd say depending on if you're going for like more of like the engagement strategy versus like the UA performance strategy that we're trying to lead up, there's always going to be like tons of different answers of like how to best engage that community. I would say,
but nothing technical, nothing you can like tweak and fix an algorithm
if
somewhere.
If you can find out for me, it would help my life a lot more. No, I think for that reason, one of the things that we've said is that the ads platform is so new, no one is an expert on it. And so we've created this managed service team within performance to be able to help people agnostically hit their KPIs. So with that, like we're figuring out as we do these tests, like what community is going to work best, what platform is going to work best, what targeting levers are actually making like the biggest effect for people, agnostic of pricing and products and things like that.
And you've also invested, of course, in the formats. I mean, native video. That sounds very exciting. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so that was something that we launched in September of last year. We saw like a tremendous amount of growth on the consumer side of just launching native video earlier in 2018. And then we parlayed that into an actual consumer-facing product for clients to tap into. So in September, we launched CPV. So it allows advertisers to buy only on a video view. So previous to that, we only ever had CPM, which is, if you're running video views, not something necessarily that you want to spend time on. So CPV was like our first foray into like an objective-based cost model.
But that's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
To that. I mean, is that because it also resonates with the audience? Are they video viewers? Are they getting into this? Is this like the special sauce at Reddit? It's not just, this is something I learned, but this is something I viewed, right?
Yeah,
or
I think
enhanced.
It depends on like the community that you're talking to. So every single community is going to have its own different rules and how they like to be engaged. Some are going to be very text heavy, some are going to be very image heavy, some are going to appreciate videos. So I'd say with that, I wouldn't say overall all things video work on Reddit. You kind of have to know the audiences that you're speaking to.
So app marketers, they're watching us, they're saying, I get it, I want to get in on it. How do they understand the audience? Are they going to be able to come to you and say, look, I have an app, and it does this, and I want to get the right audience, or are they going to have to figure it out and do like, a little bit of research into the tribal behavior on Reddit to figure it out? I mean, because that's not an easy play.
Yeah. Usually what we'll do is we'll work with them to understand what their audience is, what are they trying to back into. If we feel like that's a good mix for both what they're trying to do and for the community that we have on Reddit. And then what we can also do is do a lot of different A/B testing. So how does a particular interest group that might be into gaming do?
So I can do that on your platform?
You can, yeah. How does that particular interest do versus a particular subreddit? And then honestly, like very quickly having fluidity between all of those different levers to see which one is resonating the best, which one might have like the best LTV, and kind of going from there.
Well, that's really good. And what about overall? I mean, some people are saying, it's always the case, right? A new platform, not everyone's there. It's always great to get in early and get going and get moving. That's always the strategy. But for some people, if they say, well, why should I do this? I mean, can you give me just like a ballpark figure of like uplift or the reason to make the effort? Because they'll say, I'm doing all my other platforms. What do I get when I go into Reddit? How would you sum that up?
Yeah, I would say be open and honest about what your KPI is. And I think with us, as much as we don't want to, waste your guys' time is at the paramount for us. If we don't think we can back into a certain goal, or if we don't feel like we have your audience, it's not something that we want to necessarily like lead you down that path. I would say 2018, there was a lot of like people raising their hand to be first movers. And we probably spent a lot of time saying like, talk to us in 6 months. We're not there yet.
Got it. And app categories, I mean, it's interesting because, for example, like gaming, it has evolved. You think about gaming as a service, so it's not just like, get the game. It's like involve yourself in the game, get into the strategy of it. Might not always be the best fit, but I'm sure there are some app categories that are like really a shoe-in. What would they be?
Yeah, so you kind of hit the nail on the head, gaming. When Reddit started 13 years ago, it was a lot of entertainment, it was a lot of tech news, it was a lot of gaming, and that has definitely proliferated throughout the last decade plus. And I'd say with just launching our app install product, we're seeing a ton of gaming companies come on board and seeing success because there's a relatively like untapped audience they haven't been able to reach before. With that said, we also do really well for like streaming style, like
so entertainment, that
entertainment,
kind of stuff?
but like folks that are like focused on like cord cutting and like want to like explore like the Hulus and PS View solutions of the world.
I could imagine also a little bit like the utility techie cool stuff, you know, that like that cutting edge, like Product Hunt meets Reddit in a way.
And kind of on that note, we do really well with sort of anything that is like tech focused. So whether it's like the products themselves, but also like B2B programmer style, like, you know, the Hired or TripleByte type of companies.
And I'm just curious because you have the different formats. You know, you have your video and you have also the performance formats. But since it's a community, would like not necessarily the influencer marketing, you know, the celebrity take the money and tell you whatever you want to hear type of stuff, because that's not going to work. You guys are going to smell that a mile away. But would like subtle influencer marketing work?
I'd say Reddit is extremely savvy. Redditors are extremely savvy. And I'd say, you know, there is this self-policing nature on Reddit, whether it's an advertiser or if it's like an organic user commenting, of upvoting good content that's relevant and downvoting things that are not relevant.
So,
I think people are going to sniff out pretty quickly if you're just trying to hawk a product and not necessarily actually providing something of value to the users.
I mean, another reason to do it would just be like to A/B test and get a feel for the audience data. It's not always about, you know, hawking something, selling something. That's really important, but I'm hearing that more and more from app marketers also, that they go onto platforms rather than search and reach the North Star metric of their life, right? It's just to see, does this float, does this fail? Because you've got a very savvy audience. If you want to have A/B testing on steroids, I mean, this is like the place,
They'll be very honest with you.
They'll be very bitingly honest, so 2019, we're in it, and you guys certainly aren't slowing down. So what can we expect from you in 2019?
Yeah, I think it's going to be building on a lot of the success that we have seen come to fruition in these early couple of weeks of 2019, and more of these foundational elements that we still need to build on. You know, our performance team is brand new. It was 0 people last year, and now we are up to 10 folks. So a small but mighty team, but backed by a tremendous amount of support from our ads engine product folks. Sharik ended up recently joining from his previous days at Twitter from 2012 to 2016, where he was really instrumental in the hyper growth on their product side. So we're extremely excited to see what he's been bringing to the table for all the products that we need to launch on our roadmap.
I'm excited to follow that. I can imagine I'll be seeing you at more Mobile Growth Summit events, and certainly I'll be checking in, maybe in around 6 months. But thank you, Ryan, for being on Mobile Growth Summit.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for tuning in.